So, guys, my origin story begins back at the Burning Crusade, where I was first introduced in the game, and my first ever character created was an undead warlock named Big Hero. During this time, there was a game called Tony Hawk Pro Skater 3, which the name Big Hero comes from. And since this one was one of the hardest moves in the game, and to be honest, one of my favorites, I figured out that I would call my character Big Hero. So, to be honest, I didn't meet my first capped character till the Wrath of the Lich King, where I had just deemed the day before the expansion launched 55 on my Warlock, and as you have probably guessed, I respect to Death Knight. It was a freaking disaster though, because I remember a time that the first time I did 60, I was in a group with five other Death Knights in the Hellfire Rampart, and it was a complete disaster. So, I don't know if you're aware of this, but during the Wrath of the Lich King, the default tanking spec of the Death Knight was Frost. And since Blizzard was toying around this time with the idea of the Dungeon Finder group, the sure thing that anyone did during this time that didn't want to wait for the queue to pop like an hour, he was respecting to tank. So I did this thing, and you could actually go Frost with a little bit of Unholy and Blood to be tank, and I was the worst hybrid tank you could have ever seen in your life. Yeah, and during this time, I have managed to level up my Warlock, which I really enjoyed. I was playing Distraction during this time. I really remember the my first 13k crit with the Chaos Bolt. I was sure that I had shit my pants. It was amazing. And during the trial of the Crusader, I received a nice little message when I was at the game that from a game master quotations that my account has been suspected for some, I don't know, some bullshit thing, so I just have to head on to a site to verify my account information. So, as naive as I was during those days, I did this because I thought, why not? Again, naive. And this was the first time that my account got hacked. And not only that, it was during the Christmas vacation. I was so frustrated with this. I sent mails to Blizzard to restore my account because it was hacked. After a freaking 3 weeks of no game time during this time, I received my account back. This whole thing happened once more from, if I remember correctly, the same guy. So I lost my account second time, and during this time it was the final one that the guy who had bought my account was a god farmer, and not only that, he also put an authenticator. So with no hope in mind, I rebought everything from Blizzard again, from the starting game to the Burning Crusade, and this is the saddest part. I didn't bought the. I believe that there was a pack that had the Burning Crusade and the initial game for like 10 or 15 euros. I bought each game individually, so it cost me like a million pocket money. Ah, God. So during this time, I had learned that, well, there was a problem in the game. There were very much characters that were doing DPS. There were a little tanks, and there were practically no healers. And with that in mind, I have spec'd to my priest called Smallow. For reference, the name Smallow comes from, if you play with the name Maslow, which is a dude from psychology, comes the name Smallow. So this is where this name comes from. And my priest has been my main from Wrath of the Lich King till Warlords of Draenor, where I have got back to my rogue. To be honest, I had a lot of fun playing with my healer during this time, and the first video I ever created on this channel was about the changes for the priest buffs. If you remember, the priest had three crucial buffs: the stamina, the spirit, and the shadow resistance. And I was so frustrated seeing those things getting cut out of the game and never turning back, making the crucial buffer of this game irrelevant. You could just skip him. So it wasn't until the Mist of Pandaria that I truly get into leveling other characters. Up until Mist of Pandaria, the only character that was max level, it was my priest, and no one else, because I had so much fun playing the Holy Priest. Yeah, although a level that's a discipline. So in Mist of Pandaria, I have transferred from Twilight's Hammer to Ragnaros, where a friend of mine had a guild that we were going to clear the Mogusan Vault. We did that, and at the it was the, if I'm correct, the Leishan, how is it called? Throne of Thunder, right? Yeah. That the guild fall apart. They just stopped playing the game for some reason. So I was left alone on a server that, if you know, it is one of the Horde's most powerful servers. And the guild requirements were obscene. I mean, I had to go to a guild for healer. I had some gear during this time, but they were requesting the achievement that I've killed the end boss, the Will of the Emperor, which we have progressed. We have killed Elegon, and it was the only boss we haven't killed. Yeah, it was a pain in the ass. I told them that I know how to play the priest. I have done the raiding. I've gotten Elegon. They said that they wanted the weapon with a sad touched gem on it. So it was a little bit frustrating. I then created my paladin, and I managed to level her up to 90 pretty fast. And I got into a nice guild that I managed to tank Throne of Thunder until the Tortola, if Tortos, the turtle boss. And then I decided that this is not for me, because the guild was not falling apart, but it was a little bit strange. They didn't they didn't have a certain time for progression. They were logging in any time they were suitable for them, and it was a little bit frustrating for me. And during this time, there was a server migration from Ragnaros to a kingdom. In retrospective, this was one of the most stupidest thing I have ever done. That I have transferred from Ragnaros to a kingdom. That was before the server merged with the other realms. So after leaving Ragnaros, and I remember this like it was yesterday, where I just head into Ogrimmar in the Kingdom server, and the Ogrimmar was empty. I spawned the trade chat. Where the fuck is everybody? And there was a guy that actually whispered me, "Dude, you were the first one to talk in like 3 weeks in the trade chat." And I was like, what? And not only that, during this time I was at the quest that I had to kill the 4 Celestials in order to get my cape. And as you probably imagine, this was something that was never going to happen. Thank God for this beautiful add-on called OQ that matches you with other guys from other servers. So, and obviously the battle tag, the real ID that you can transfer from server to server, so that I managed at least to get my cape on my priest. And at the end of the Mist of Pandaria, I just focused a little bit more on attacking with my paladin. I have cleared the both normal and heroic, and I've managed to do Galacras on Mythic, and before the Worlds of Draenor expansion hit, and at the beginning of the Worlds of Draenor, I had to choose which character I should level up. I have watched some videos and I decided to go with the Rogue, which I mained throughout the Worlds of Draenor expansion. And I believe that, in my humble opinion, that this was the most amazing choice I've ever did. Although the priest is always in my heart and is a character that I will always level up to max level and do some dungeons. Hell, the priest was the first character to get the 2 set from the Hellfire Citadel tier before my rogue. But the rogue got eventually the 4 set. And to be honest, I really enjoyed playing my priest. I believe this was the best choice that I have ever done. And now for Legion, things are a little bit uncertain. I will make a video in the future that I will talk about the time to decide what class or what spec do you want to play and the pros and the cons for it. So you should look after that. Look after for it. Look for it. No, look after for it. And there was some guys that I've met through this road. There was eventually at the Worlds of Draenor, I met a dude that was in my priest's guild at the Twilight's Hammer, back at the Wrath of the Lich King, where I was like, dude, no way. And he actually remembered me. That was the funniest part. We were in the same guilds, and I believe that we leveled together. So this was a very nice memory to have. So guys, practically this is it for the Legion. I don't know which character I should start. I mean, I will always level up my priest, but is it going to be my main? I don't know. I have seen some crazy shit with the Shadow Priest going on, and I would really love to try them out, but to be honest, I don't know who should I choose, and this is something that I will have to think about because the expansion is like 2 months, 2 months, in 2 months' time. Yeah, it's pretty close. So this concludes my WoW origin story. It wasn't so great, but for me, it brings back a lot of memories, a lot of frustration, a lot of people communication, and everything. Especially the one time that I got hacked and I couldn't do shit about it. So yeah, and my last message is: if someone tries to tell you that to go in an unauthorized server, don't. A Blizzard GM will have the blue logo says Blizz. Guys, don't trust them. They will going to steal your account. So thank you very much for watching, guys, and I hope you like this mini legacy of mine. Like and subscribe if you enjoy my video. Please feel free to check my channel for all things concerning WoW. So I've got some Diablo and the Heroes of the Storm character overview. Leave a like if you enjoy this one. Also subscribe to the channel if you want. And I will see you next time. Bye bye.